welcome to iHeart Board Games, where today we are giving you another top 10 board games. Who is it this time? It's Ronald! Ronald's top 10 board games of all time, 2021 edition. This is Travis. I'm Jesse. That's Melissa. But Ronald, in the purple, will be giving us a top 10. What kind of games are hanging out in your top 10, Ronald?
Well, I'll tell you, I did not include legacy games.
Didn't? Okay, that's a whole other list.
Because that's going to be, they're on their own separate list. Because I love all legacy games, and honestly, I could probably make... all 10 positions could be filled with legacy games. So
then you'll do that list.
Yeah, so I have a separate list for that. And I didn't include escape room games either, because those are just kind of their own category. Yeah. And I can never remember which one's which and which ones I've played and which ones I haven't.
Blue card.
That sounds like someone who bought the same legacy game twice. Or not legacy, escape game twice.
Who did that?
I've done it. That's not true. We have 2 copies. Someone bought it as a gift. Oh, but it sounds funny if I say I did.
Sure, they did.
I see.
It's less funny when you say that. Right. Oh, well, I didn't say that. It's not true.
Yeah, I tried to, put all different kinds, but of course, this was made on that day, and if you ask me today, it would be different. Just like I think you've probably heard in all the other videos.
You're gonna open up your phone and look at it like, ugh.
Right? I don't even remember what I wrote, so now I'm gonna be looking at it like, really?
So you're gonna be just as surprised
I rated
as we
this
are.
over that? Okay.
That's okay.
But honestly, when you get to this point, there's probably like 30 games at the top of my list that could all be rearranged in whatever order every day. It just happens this is the order I put them in. But they're all deliciously wonderful games that I love for one reason or another. It just happens to be that I rated them this way on that day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look back at my rankings on BGG and I'm like, I gave that a 7? Or I gave that a 10? Whatever.
Wow.
But
So Ronald will be counting down from 10 to 2. Pause out for honorable mentions, and we'll be providing a 1. Along the way, we'll be providing commentary as well, maybe even making some guesses. You can make guesses along with us in the comments below. Maybe if he mentions a game you really enjoyed, tell us why you like that game. But let's start off with number 10.
Number 10. Well, this is a game that I first played at a convention, and then I ended up playing it with Melissa, and it was really good, and we both enjoyed it.
No.
And so then we brought it to Jesse to play as well.
I know exactly what it is.
And this game is from 2017. It is designed...
Do you know it?
It's from Floodgate Games.
Oh,
it's designed
by
by
talked about it.
Adrian Adamescu and Daryl Andrews. It is Sagrada.
Sagrada.
No, my head.
We just went over this story.
It was not going that way. It started with the same letter. I will say that much.
Yeah. So
thought. But
the funny thing is, we got kind of
Am I the only one that remembers?
We got a little bit confused on how the rules worked when we brought it to Jesse. So we actually taught him some incorrect things, which I think colored his opinion of the game.
Colored? Sagrada?
References.
But, I remember we were on our way back from another event, and Melissa was like, I have a teacher discount. I think they have this game at Barnes & Noble.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, let's see if they have it at the local one. And so we stopped on our way back from this little local convention and picked up the last copy they had of it, because it was hard to get at one point. Now you can buy it
anywhere. They give them away at airports.
That when I was on the plane, they were like pretzel, cookie, or a box of Sagrada. And I've got several of the expansions at home, the little mini expansions. And those are all fun and offer different interesting things too. And most of the time when I show this to people, they love the puzzle of it. So it's a dice placement game. You're placing dice in a little panel to make a stained glass window. And people love the you can't put the same number next to each other. You can't put the same color next to each other. So there's that crunchy puzzle of how do I solve this with losing the fewest number of points? And when you get to the end, you're always like, oh, I have screwed myself. I have royally messed this up. I can only do with a silver 9. And neither of those things exist in the game.
And you're looking at a red 2.
And you're like, wait.
It's like, what am I going to do?
All yellow 3s.
This isn't even a color in the game or a number in the game. How did I manage to get myself into the... It's the same thing you experience with Role Player.
Yeah.
But that satisfaction when you get all of your whole window built.
Yeah.
That is...
All right,
Wow.
so number 9.
So that was number 10, Sagrada.
Number
Ronald's
9.
played so many games. I just don't think I can compete. What
Let's hear some description.
All right, so this game right here, I don't know if y'all would expect it to be on the list, but well, if I say this one hint, you're gonna know what it is. So, okay, I'll say it's from 2005, and it's published by Eagle Griffin Games, and it's designed by Bruno Faiduti. Does that help? Does that help anybody?
Original
It's nuts.
Because they own Eagle Griffin did it now.
This
The only game that comes to mind, which is not it, is like Citadels or something like that.
It has some other designers as well.
Seafall?
It also has multiple names.
Oh, it's
Incan Gold.
yeah, Incan Gold.
Yes, it's Incan Gold, also known as Diamond.
If you would have said the other name, that would have clued me in.
The other name?
Designer of Ticket to Ride, Alan Moon.
Yes, Bruno Faiduti and Alan Moon.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because he hasn't he hadn't made too many things.
Well, so Incan Gold is a push your luck game. It's kind of a Raiders of the Lost Ark or something like that. It's like an Indiana Jones style thing where you're trying to get through this temple, I guess, and get as many gems. But there is this great decision making going on. You can play with like up to like 8 people, I think, of like, do I stay or do I go? There's like, an
Always
artifact on the pie in the pile. If I am the only one that goes, I get to pick that up. But if anyone goes with me, neither of us gets it. And this is just such an interesting decision to me. This is a game that even if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, we just finished 4 games of the craziest Euros. If someone says Incan Gold, I will play it.
Yeah.
And there's a great BGA implementation, Board Game Arena as well.
Yeah.
So you could just play it. And I really like that game. I thought about putting it even higher on my list. It's really a good game.
I would never have thought of that.
What's so awesome about Incan Gold is that you could literally pull anybody in that's never even played a board game in their
Here's your 2
life
choices.
and literally tell them choose go or stop. That's it. And I mean, even if they're not really understanding the whole setup, I mean, it's literally just 2 choices.
Yeah.
And then once you make those 2 choices enough, and then it just kind of pulls you in.
And the big risk, big reward. We have a viewer Ramp who will always stay in. Just stays, and it gets more and more dangerous as you stay in. But sometimes that means he's the only one left because everyone else left, and he gets all the gems, and he can get like 30 gems at one time, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But then you have people like Melissa who will be like one of the first people out, and she wins
I'm
a
out.
lot
Yeah.
because everybody waits and dies. So
Yeah, and-
it's just such a fun game, and there's so many fun stories that come with it too.
I
Yeah, and
agree.
it's become like a go to like start of night, end of night. I mean, it's just in between palate cleanser, just a little go to.
I was gonna say I've played this with all of you, I think, once or twice, but now I want to play it again. So I'll have to, based on that recommendation, if it's that high on if it makes your list at all, it's something I need to pay more
It's a
attention to.
game we do have with us.
Oh,
And it's also on Board Game Arena if you want to try it yourself.
It has cute tiny tents.
oh yeah.
All
remember
right.
that.
So number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Yes.
5, 6, 7,
Number 8 is from 2011.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you the publisher or the designer because that will give you too much information.
Really?
Scoville.
But I will tell you it's a Euro.
Trajan.
No,
Oh, he traded that away.
I did.
Only because
Oh,
it's
It's
for my
Castles of
benefit.
Burgundy.
It's Castles
Oh,
of
yeah.
from Ravensburger and Steppenfeld.
Ravensburger.
Yeah, but I know that you only drew it for my benefit so that it could stay in the Feld collection because he knew I would never.
Yes, I
dare
do
get
like
rid of it.
Trajan. I
It's
like
now readily
I like most of
available
Feld's
everywhere.
games, but
Trajan's good.
You got a reprinting.
the thing with Castles of Burgundy is I think it's his most popular and probably one of his more approachable games as far as the like really Euro-y ones go, not the children's games and everything. And it has one of those sentimental spots because well, you all know the story of they don't though. We were on vacation. We went to a toy store and they had some board games in there, and we were like, maybe we should buy a board game while we're here. We weren't that heavy in the hobby. We had maybe 3 or 4 hobby games at that point. And One of them was this game, Castles of Burgundy. The box did not look fun. Looking at pictures of the game, it did not look pretty. But when we looked up reviews, it was one of the top 10 games on BGG at that time. And we were like, well, it seems popular. So we grabbed it, brought it to the register, and one worker says to the other, they've taken the Ravensburger. They've bought the Ravensburger, Margaret. And it's like, yeah, I guess they've just gotten it in.
We're closing early today, Margaret.
These idiots dropped $50 on a board game. But we went back to our hotel and literally took all the pieces out on the floor of the hotel and started reading through this manual.
That's a lot to take on.
To learn how to play. And then we proceeded to play it there on the floor of the store. And it just... every year doing like the Feldfest, and of course being friends with you, you're such a big Feld fan. Go watch Melissa's top 10 to see if any Felds made her top 10. You need to do top 10 Felds.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah, I could at this point.
I could too. I could do like probably a top 15 Felds.
Yeah, because I think I have.
We'll make it within the next day and we could do it.
I think I could do 20, but that would take all
I could maybe do a top 3.
Yeah, so anyways, Castles of Burgundy, it's a dice game and a Euro game, so it's interesting. There's dice mitigation, and you're building this, area of Burgundy with castles and animals, and I love to go for the animals.
I do love that cutthroat element of, I've got to get to that tile before they do. I've got to get to that tile before they do, because you're all pulling from the same pool.
Yeah, I don't employ that strategy too much.
It will.
But I see literally some people take tiles they can't even use just to prevent others from getting it. And it's like, well, that's one way you can play it.
Well, I will say it will change depending on if you're playing 2-player or 4-player.
You got it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Tremendously.
Absolutely.
I like it best at like 3, because I think with 4 it's just so long.
Yeah.
But, it's got a great implementation on BGA. You can play the classic or the updated one. Both are cool in their own ways. And there's also Bois de Jeu as well. So no reason not to learn and play that one.
There was a time you and I were playing that almost all day, every day.
Yeah, we were.
Just constant, and it got to the point where we were texting each other, your turn. Because
on Bois de Jeu it does not alert you.
Yeah, right. And we were obsessive about it. We both reached a point where we're we've got to not text each other.
We got to get cold turkey.
We've got to it was bad. We were playing a lot, but it's super fun. Yeah, that's when I fully support that.
So that was number 8.
I have more of these. Yep. I know more of these than I thought. So
right.
So number
7.
Number 7.
Number 7 is a game from 2019.
Recent.
I'm not going to tell you the designer or the publisher because that's too much information, but it has an 8.1 on BGG.
8.1 2019. It's not Legacy, not Escape.
No, it's
wow,
not.
That's a really high grade.
It is a beautiful game.
Wingspan.
Yes, it's Wingspan.
Oh,
okay.
Designed by Elizabeth Hargrave and published by Stonemaier Games.
Nice.
So Wingspan is a game where you're basically a bird watcher. You're collecting birds and you're making combos with all the different birds to do different things. I also have the Steam app, which is just a port of the board game, and it is beautiful. You can hear all the bird songs, which is just another little fact you can get about them, and they'll say the bird facts. It's a really great game, especially at 2.
Yeah.
When you can play it with up to 5. I think at 5 it's slow, it's long, and 4 is even slow and long.
3, 2 or 3 is a good.
2 or 3. At 2 it is fast. It's so fast, and you can see very quickly what you're doing, what your plans are and how you're gonna implement it. When you get those bigger play counts, it's by the time it gets back around to me, I don't even know.
What was I doing? Yeah.
Right.
But it's just a great game, and everyone I've shown it to has just loved it. And of course, it's much lauded. It's won all kinds of awards, and I would rarely say no to that game unless it's just an issue of time.
Yeah, but at 2-player, it can go quick. But at 2-player, it'll be quick.
That's right, and I don't own that game.
Yeah, I was I don't think Ronald owns Wingspan.
But I have, of course, Slivers lives near me. He has it, and another friend of mine who's a bird watcher has it, so I have access to it.
And you have the app.
Right.
I have the app, yeah.
Yeah, it's a game. I can't believe it's 2019.
It
seems like it's been out forever.
I know.
Because I bought it.
Does seem like...
When I bought it, it was at Dice Tower Con. And it was it was it Meeple Source? I think it was Meeple Source that had it. The same place that we got our shirts, and I was like,
that was 2019.
But it was like, oh, okay, on Saturday the truck comes in, and we're only gonna have about 10, so get here right at noon.
It was hard to get at first, but now of course you can buy it at every Domino's Pizza. So
yeah, it's
I remember, like,
it's an add-on with the Pepsi.
Yeah, get large with breadsticks and a wingspan,
which is great because if you get on the plane,
Did you want an order of wings, sir? No, a box of Wingspan.
Yeah. All right. Did he just get off the plane? He's holding Sagrada and Domino's.
Yeah, I remember. They have a lot of pieces for it too that we got from Evil Source, like the.
Yeah, I would love to upgrade that game to the fancy, expensive components that cost as much as the game.
right?
It's a very pretty game.
That's one of my rules about add-ons. Like, I won't pay as much or more for the upgrades that I did for the base game.
If it's in your top 10,
it is. And Wingspan was in mine, so like
maybe
it is. If anybody wants to gift me that, like that is definitely something that I would really love that I will almost never buy for myself.
Well, there you go. Gift ideas. What is your number? 6.
Yes, number 6 is a big, crunchy Euro game. It's probably the Euro-iest Euro on my list.
Big crunchy Euro.
It is from 2018. I'm not going to tell you the designer or the publisher because that's too much information for you.
For me.
I think these other two would have no clue, but you would immediately. I'll tell it, but then you have to leave out. You have to stay out there guessing.
Is it Legrand?
Okay, it's not.
Legrand.
I don't.
My early guess is Tricerion, but go ahead.
The designer is Danielle Tashini.
Okay, I got it.
The publisher is NSKN Games.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
That is.
You didn't? Man, I love that.
It begins
game.
with the same letter as my guess. Correct?
What was your guess? Oh, Tricerion. Yeah.
Teotihuacan?
Yes. You're
right. Teotihuacan.
That was like, I can picture it, but I've not played it.
Teotihuacan, City of Gods. So this is a big Euro game. I understand that there's some issues with the designer and he's problematic, but the game is good, and I have to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
And it is set in I don't know, Middle America. Not Middle America. What do you call
Latin
it?
America?
Latin America. It's in the
Kansas?
old times, like I'm not sure, the Aztecs or the Maya or some ancient civilization.
The Arkansasian.
And you're building like a giant pyramid, and you actually have these chunky tiles that you're using to build it, but you're also moving your workers, which are dice, around a rondelle to do different actions, and you can only go in one direction. One of the cool things about the game is the actions are not always in the same order. You can change up the order. You can change out which tiles come out. You can change out which what do you call them? Technologies come out. So the game has all this replayability, and no matter how many players you're playing with, you still have these extra dice that are on the board blocking the spaces. And you've got to use Coco to pay for things. This game just intrigued me from the first time. When we first learned it, we played it wrong.
Don't forget the Coco.
Yes, we didn't pay any Coco for anything.
You played with a variant rule.
We built the whole pyramid. And we were like, that seems strange. We didn't even get to the second era. And we finished the whole pyramid.
Oh, wait, is it cacao? No,
we've just settled Kansas. What more is there to do?
I don't remember if it's cacao or cocoa. I think it's cocoa. Oh, no, it's cacao.
Cacao.
Something like that. But we didn't.
Well, whatever it is, it's chocolate.
We didn't spend none of it.
And we didn't touch it the first time.
And then we played it on stream, and it's just beautifully made game. I like it better than the one with the gears.
Oh yeah,
Sulkin, yes. Yeah. It just does so much more, and I've taught it at conventions. I ended up buying a copy for myself. I've taught it to people at home, and not everyone has liked it that I've taught it to, but it doesn't matter to me. I still like it, and I like a game that makes you think like that, and I consider myself good at it. Oh, and also it's on BGA.
Yes.
So you can play it on BGA, and it's a great game.
I would say,
never played it.
As far as for a Euro that's not a Feld, it definitely stands out in my mind. As that just difficult enough, but still easily understandable.
That could be in a top 20 for me.
Yeah, we've played it back to back before. It's that enjoyable.
Do you own it?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, he just.
Oh, yeah,
he said
he
he got
said-
a copy.
Do you
He's
own
tall.
any expansions? Because there's like 2 or 3.
No, I haven't, and I don't feel I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so much in that box. I haven't experienced everything it has in the box yet.
Don't gild
Yeah.
the lily.
Yeah.
I've been disappointed by expansions before, and that seems like one that could be disappointing.
Yeah,
When I
it's
was
in-
teaching it at Dice Tower, the expansion was like mixed in, and we had to take it all out, and I was just like, I don't want all of this stuff.
Yeah, it's just
You
kind
know,
of
there's
enjoy
already
the-
a lot to it. It's like I don't.
For
it's
sure.
kind of like Tricarian. I don't need all that extra stuff. It's like
Right.
I'm good.
Nice. So that was number 6. Let's find out what the number 5 game is.
Halfway mark.
5.
Yes. So this game is designed by. This game is from 2013.
Okay.
Okay.
This game is designed by Brent Beck.
Scoville.
Oh, I know what it is.
And it's published by Grandpa Beck's Games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep guessing Scoville until it's
This
right.
is a
or not
game
on
we
the list.
have with us.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got it with us?
Yep.
I thought about bringing it too. Randy said that's always a hit, and I said Travis won't play that. So I didn't bring it.
Well, you got to wear a crown, so that's fun.
Wear a crown? What do we bring that you gotta wear a crown? I didn't bring no crowns.
Travis wouldn't like wearing a crown.
There's no wearing of a crown in this game, but
By the title.
so this is a trick-taking game. You play it over
Skull
10
King.
rounds. It's called Skull King.
Yep.
So this is a.
Is that the tattoo one?
No.
No,
That's
this is-
Oh no,
It's
I mean, it's the
table.
piratey one. I've seen
We're not
y'all
gonna
play
bring
it.
the table
Yeah,
down
whoa, that
because
game.
of equipment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen y'all play it several times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a bidding and trick-taking game. You're playing over 10 rounds. Each round you have more cards. So the first round you just have 1 card, and in the 10th round you have 10 cards. And it's really just a cute and wonderful and fun experience. And there is this stress of what bid to make. Now I realize lots of trick-taking games have bidding in them. But this one, if you don't get it right on the money, you lose points. So you've got to be so careful. And the way the cards interact with each other, the pirates, the Skull King, the mermaid, if you add in that little mini expansion, they all kind of like, there's a level of, well, this beats that and this beats that. Oh, but this can beat that. And the yo ho ho just adds another little element of
throws the
fun
bit at the same time
to it.
Yeah.
And of course, it doesn't hurt that I got a free copy of this game because at the
Well,
time
you put
I
in
was
a lot of work.
trying to be a Instagram personality, with all these followers, and the company reached out to me and asked me if I'd like a free copy, and they sent me this beautiful production of
What's
it.
your Instagram?
It's Ronald Hearts Games. You can go follow me there, although there's not a lot there anymore. It's more work than it's worth to me.
If you follow, that might inspire you a bit.
Sure, if I get like 100 more followers out of this, then I'll go post a whole bunch more stuff.
So we need you to follow the account, and we need you to make 5 of your friends follow the account,
Right.
and make 5 of their friends
If you
follow
like
the account.
not that
Right.
great pictures of board games, give me a follow.
Way to play it up.
I wake up every morning and hope for new content.
I mean, this is me at a
Get 'em
convention.
those
Can I get a picture of that?
follows. Come on,
Snap.
let's do it.
Okay, I'll put that on Instagram later.
That's also him every time we go to dinner or lunch.
I actually put more effort into
like,
those pictures.
Would you order? Would you order? Don't eat it yet. I need to get a picture. Bring it over here. Nope. And he adjusts it for the lighting. He gets the salt and pepper out of the way. Puts some little meeples in it.
Well, there's benefits for that.
Yeah, I get stuff out of that.
Well, we had a really nice experience playing Skull King for the first time when we played it. In
Lafayette.
Southern Board Game Fest.
Really nice, like very more small kind of con, but it was a nice
Yeah,
experience.
that's when it was new to all of us.
Yeah.
I remember watching y'all play. I still haven't played it. I've seen
I
y'all
remember
play it several times.
playing that there and just thinking, gosh, this game is so fun. We laughed. We loved it because, okay, I don't usually like a mean game, but there's a little bit of jabbing to that. Like, oh, you bid 3? Take that trick from him. It's like, and it's like, it's not too serious. The only problem with it is it can have a problem where like someone's at like negative 1,000 and someone else is at like positive 1,000, and then that person feels really bad.
Right.
And that sucks if that person's like can't deal with losing on that scale, but it's all in fun. It's not a serious game. It's not Teotihuacan.
Yeah.
By a guy
Or
named
Teotihuacan.
Grandpa Beck. So
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That's a number 5 from Ronald. What is your number 4?
Number 4 is an easy one. 2017.
Easy, huh?
Mhm.
Oh, wait.
This game, when people come to my house who are not board gamers, this is the first game that I suggested.
Skull.
Scoville.
I say Skull.
No, Skull's too tough. Too mean.
This is the first game I think. This is so approachable. Anyone can play this. It's beautiful production at the table.
2017.
Yeah, give me something more.
It's got some nice chunky pieces to it.
Azul?
Yes.
I was like,
So Azul is by Next Move Games, Plan B Games, and Michael Kiesling.
I wouldn't have thought that at all.
I love Azul.
What a great game. And of course, there's all the different offshoots, which I have not played all of yet, but just regular base Azul. You can teach that to just about anybody. It's so simple. And it doesn't have, it's like a paste it on theme, but it's just beautiful the way that it works together. Mm-hmm. And there's a puzzle. I like puzzle games. I like tile laying games and I like puzzle games. And so it really and I thought about whether I should put Azul and Sagrada in my list because they're similar.
They're different games.
But I think they're different enough.
Yeah, I think they're very different.
What's really neat about the base Azul is that it has that flipboard ability where once you teach a person the mechanics of it, flip the board, lets you discover how you want to design it. And then that can help lead to the different other Azul, like with Stained Glass or Summer Pavilion, where it's a little more, detailed. How do you put stuff?
There is no Dana, only Azul.
Yeah.
I think Pavilions is Pavilions one.
Summer Pavilion.
It's Summer Pavilion. That's a different one. That's the one. That's the Azul that I enjoyed the most.
Same, I think.
Yeah.
It's close though. It's close with the first one.
It's really hard for me to choose between just base Azul and Summer Pavilion. I think I like different aspects of each one. Like I like the element of just kind of form, like how am I going to make all this fit with these lines, that kind of puzzle.
I never played Summer Pavilion, so I can't speak on that one. But
I
love base game Azul. Great game. I play it almost anytime that someone asks me to, and it was a gift given to me. So
that's great.
Awesome. That's number 4, Azul.
So we've now got the top 3.
Top 3.
We want to break for a top 3. I feel that
top 3 breaks. So far, all of these have kind of surprised me. Like Sagrada, I thought would be higher.
I'm impressed how many of them I either knew or share. I feel like Scoville, once upon a time, I would have banked was one of Ronald's favorite. I don't know if it's been bumped out of the list now, but. And I don't know if on the day Ronald made the list, he was feeling Scoville.
For some reason, unless it's an honorable mention, I'm surprised Skull has not been mentioned yet.
Yeah,
Skull might be up there.
Skull is going to be mentioned.
Yeah, because I don't think it would rank high up.
Skull, Scoville, and Skull King. Time Stories.
Yeah, that's definitely
Well,
and that's not really considered is it considered legacy?
I would say that is not a legacy or an escape.
Okay,
but that's me.
Doesn't warrant replay though.
I would say Time Stories, Scoville, and
what about
Skull.
I
don't know what order, but those would be my 3.
Scythe.
No.
No, he got rid of Scythe. Or didn't know. No, he had Rise
trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to take it, but I was moving. There was some reason I couldn't.
Okay, so I've heard your top 3 guesses, Travis. What are yours, Melissa?
Oh my goodness. I feel like Arkham has to be. I think that's something y'all share. I think Arkham's up there at the top.
Why didn't I put that on my list?
I do agree with Scoville. And I just feel like there's another felt that's up there. There's other felts that we've really enjoyed playing together outside of castles, but I can't think of what would rank so high.
All right, Jesse, what do you think are the top 3?
Let's go with.
I think you should put Arkham Horror 3rd edition.
Sure, Arkham Horror 3rd edition. I honestly don't know. This whole list has surprised me so far.
Arkham, Scoville, and there's a 3rd.
Everyone watching this doesn't really know your choices either. This is more like the ones we're naming. What else would you think is on this list? Just to give you an idea of what we think is on there. See how wrong we are.
So you have no guesses.
Arkham Horror 3rd edition.
Okay.
Betrayal something maybe?
No, Legacy game, not the Legacy version.
No, not the Legacy version.
Madness.
He doesn't own Mansions of Madness.
I don't own all the games on my list.
That's true.
Mansion's fun. It is fun. It was on my list. I don't know. I'm looking forward to hearing it though. Number 3.
Well, out of all of your guesses,
Uh-huh.
only one thing was said correctly.
But not in the third position.
So of the 9 games mentioned, only one of them is in your top.
That's right.
Well, we have honorable mentions to cover up.
Yeah,
something.
okay.
So
Okay,
that's your number
so-
3.
Which, yeah.
Number 3 is actually a couple of games. And
Time stories.
they are designed by Paul Dennen. One came out in 16, one came out in 17. They're the same game, basically.
Time stories.
They are from Renegade Game Studios.
Time
The
stories.
2 games.
Did you say Tom Lennon?
I said Paul Dennen.
Oh, Paul Dennen.
Tom
Did you say
Lennon?
John Lennon?
Did you say Tom
Leningrad?
Lehman is a different
But now
one.
he only said
Did you
it's
say Abe
2
Lincoln?
of them, and there are more
Abe
than 2
Lincoln.
time stories.
There's several time stories. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's like
and
five,
so
six.
there's 2.
So
I don't
this
think
is
it
a
could be
game
that.
that we first played at a convention. Melissa and Jesse, I played it with you, I'm pretty sure, the first time. And after playing that game, I loved it. It took a concept, a mechanism that I previously did not like, and it turned it into one that I did like because it added so much to it.
You haven't said the title yet, right?
Where
No,
were?
I still haven't said it yet.
Where were?
Great Western Trail.
No.
I don't know who
The
decided.
answer is Clank.
Oh,
The
right.
Clank series, Clank, and then its follow-up, Clank in Space.
Oh, I am.
So I did not really like deck building. I'd only ever played Dominion. I
Wow.
thought it was so boring and so lame and so uninteresting. That game is just solitaire, basically, to me. I have since changed my opinion on it, but at the time, that's how I felt. And Clank took that and added so much. They added a board game to it. They added the theme of you're this dungeon dive or you're in the spaceship trying to steal the artifacts from the crazy spaceman.
Yeah.
It's just so much more fun. And also the push your luck element of how far in do I go?
It's the ramp
And-
problem. You know? It's
Yeah.
How fast do I run back out?
Mhm.
And now, having also played Clank Legacy, I also could, if this was including legacy games, I could pile that into the group too, because that just is like the icing on the cake for the series. What a great game. I don't know if it was on any of y'all's lists.
I think
Clank?
Mm-hmm.
Clank in Space was.
Clank,
very good.
Base Clank was mine.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I can't believe nobody guessed it then.
Whoops.
It was definitely one that like it was on my list. Now I can't remember exactly where I ranked it at.
Sure.
But it was one of those ones where it was like kind of that, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot about this one. Like at the time when I was thinking of like the games that would be on the top. But it was one that like it suffers that same thing that it is with Terraforming Mars. That we just don't get it out and play it.
You
as
forget how
much.
much fun
And
it is until you get it to
like,
table. Yeah.
need to get it back out and keep playing it.
I never owned it until I accidentally sat on y'all's box. I sat on your copy of Clank in Space.
Clank went clunk.
When we were setting it up for the
Oh.
stream, I was putting stuff in chairs, and I sat down in that chair, and I sat on the lid of the box and broke it. And so I was like, I have to buy you another copy. So I bought another copy, and I took yours that had the damaged lid. Well, now that's in my collection, and I can't tell you how many times we played it. We bought 2 expansions for it. The one that upgrades the space station into like that other shape. I mean, just a great game.
Now, did you sit on the expansion so they all match?
Not yet. I need
Okay.
to do that.
I like that expansion that makes it a round shape. That is so
What
good.
about I haven't played it, but what about the Egypt one, the mummy that turns it to a diamond?
Haven't played it. We do own it.
Played it.
I've seen it, but I haven't played it.
We have our cards sleeved for the first one, and we haven't sleeved the
so
Clank.
you need to mix them in.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. It's like with that game, there's been so many times we played it, and yet still there's cards I feel like we still have yet to see. So I'm like, why would we just add in more expansion to something we've never even seen all the base cards yet?
Right.
Yep.
So we're now at Ronald's number 2.
Clank series is number 3. Wow. Number 2.
Number 2 is the one that y'all mentioned that y'all got right.
So that must be time
Time
stories.
stories. Or Scoville.
No, it's Arkham Horror.
Oh,
Third edition.
Second and third edition.
I was going to say, that's
I lumped them together. So the second edition is from 2005. It's designed by Richard Lanius and Kevin Wilson. It's from Fantasy Flight. The third edition is from 2018. It's by Nikki Valens and a bunch of other people, mostly Nikki. Both games are H.P. Lovecraft, big, crunchy adventures in the Cthulhu mythos where you're fighting the ancient evil, but they are designed very differently. The second edition, there's the
gates.
Well, I was going to say, it's from my past. It was the first game that I bought in the hobby gaming sphere beyond Catan. I already had Catan, but we were at a Barnes & Noble. We had some friends over for Christmas. We were looking at it. It was $80. I'm like, what is this game? But look how beautiful the art is. And, I had never read anything. I still haven't read anything in the H.P. Lovecraft universe. But little did I know that I would end up buying everything for second edition. All of the expansions, big and small boxes. And we ended up playing that game so many more times than most of the games in my collection. Before I ever tracked games, we had a piece of paper where we were tracking 30 games of that. And it's a long game.
Yeah.
But it also, there's a story that develops when you're playing it. And it can really be a nail biter as you're doing this adventure and oh God, you went and made a deal with the man in black and now he wants your soul and you're devoured. Or oh, the ancient evil, they have spores and now you have spores in your body. Or, oh, did you join the Silver Twilight Lodge? And all these stories happen.
Now you're luckier with a dice roll. Now you're less lucky with a dice roll.
Right. And of course it's a big Ameritrash game with dice chucking and it's an adventure game. And that's
roll 12 dice.
Necessarily my style.
Yeah.
And then the third edition takes that same idea and it puts the Mansions of Madness treatment on it. You have a set story and you're following a choose your own adventure path and you're still having to fight all these ancient evils and do all this stuff. It's beautifully done. I love Nikki Valens as a designer. They did a great job with this and I have both of them still in my collection. I cannot get rid of second because there's too much nostalgia and too much love. Yeah. And I have too much of it.
Yeah, I've got pictures of all of when you've played with all of the box lids stacked up.
Yeah.
And that's a piece of art in and of itself.
And you said this in your top 10. You guys should go check that one out. That it's a beast to put up. I mean, to set all the pieces out, especially when you have as much content as I have, all the expansions and everything. And it's a beast to put away, but there's something I kind of enjoy that element of taking all the pieces out and organizing everything and then putting everything back together again to put back in the box. You'll see that come again when we get to my number one.
Yeah.
But that's something that I actually enjoy as part of it.
Just that, especially with all the expansions you have, because you're like, okay, all the boards go in this box, but all of the cards go in that expansion. And it's like, no, wait, nobody else can put this away.
Right.
You put those cards in that bag.
Right.
No one else touch anything.
Right.
Yeah. That's fun stuff.
People are like, we can help you put it away. I'm like,
don't.
It's okay.
Don't.
I'll put it away later.
Yeah.
I got this.
You can just leave.
Yeah.
I'm done with you now.
Yeah.
So
I know y'all have not played those games very much.
Not nearly as much.
I've only played third once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only played both of them once. I've played because we played second, I think, with y'all one time
because we talked about it so much.
Yeah,
we finally made it a thing. I've played Arkham Horror with Ronald many times.
Well, now I'm very much confused. If we only ever talked about one of your top three,
I have no
and we've
idea.
already covered Arkham. I'm very confused now. What's
number one?
Well, what are your honorables?
Let's get to the honorables.
Yeah, what are your honorables?
Yeah. Let's knock some of those out.
I better be the other 8 things we mentioned.
So my first honorable mention, this would have been number 11, is from Plaid Hat Games. It's designed by Jonathan Gilmour and Isaac Vega. It's from 2014. It is Dead of Winter, a Crossroads game. Great game. It comes out Halloween time. I have a friend who has it. We're going to play it as soon as it gets a little more crispy outside. That is a story game also, and there's also the push your luck element of the rolling of the red die. And there's all the different stories that come in the box. That's my only reason it didn't go actually higher, is because there's only like I don't know, 10 adventures in the box.
Right.
And you might say, well, Arkham Horror 3rd Edition has that same problem, but Arkham Horror 3rd Edition has expansions that you can add to it. And also, the stories have different paths you can go down. Whereas Dead of Winter, it's like, well, I played that one before. I don't know if I want to do that one again.
Yeah.
So, but I do like it has a short, medium, long, so you can decide how long your game is going to be. I like that you can decide to have a trader or not. It's just a really fun game, and it's also another dice roller.
Yeah. I have thought of something I would add, but I want to see if it comes out.
See, I
have a new guess for number 1, but I want to see.
I am completely lost.
I can't believe I skipped it, but I want to see if it comes up in honorable mentions.
So my number 12 was mentioned several times by you all. It's designed by Ed Marriott and published by Tasty Minstrel Games in 2014. It's Scoville.
Yeah, Scoville. See, that was I didn't know on that day if that made the list.
Scoville was originally a Kickstarter game. It's a game about planting chili peppers and making a chili to enter in a chili cooking contest. It's a really unique theme. It is actually maybe the meanest game on my list. There's some meanness to it.
Yeah, there can be.
With the blocking of people and like, I laid down that ghost pepper and now you're standing in my path. But I like the bidding as long as you're not playing with 2 players. I like it's just a beautiful production.
The colors are so beautiful.
The reason it doesn't get higher on my list is because it always sounds like a more fun experience in my mind than I actually have when I'm doing it. Because when I'm doing it, 99% of the time I'm teaching at the same time. And I've never really been able to figure out my strategy in that game because I'm too busy watching everybody else and making sure everyone's understanding what to do and how it works. But it's a good game, and I have the expansion. I have never been able to play with it because I'm always teaching new people.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love the components of that game.
I love the components.
Like the ghost peppers with the little... that is probably the most...
And they made them different heights so it can be colorblind friendly. Really nice.
That is probably my favorite game to look at, even though it's a game I do not like to play. But I'm always like,
that's the thing. A lot of people do not like it.
Y'all should play Scoville. I want to watch because it's pretty.
Okay, I have a couple more of these.
I would imagine you would, because now I'm starting to think of things.
I was gonna say I got one.
This one is from designer Jordy Adden. The publisher is Thunderworks Games. It's from 2019. It's Cartographers.
That's the one I thought.
A beautiful roll and write production in the role player universe. I like role player, but I actually prefer Cartographers. It's simpler, it's faster. You're making polyomino, Tetris shapes.
Yeah, that's a word.
That you're drawing, and we did it with colored pencils, and you can color in the different designs. It's really cute, and then it's so mean. You have to pass it to your opponent, and your opponent draws like a goblin or a gremlin on your board. And it's like, oh, you've ruined all my plans.
And Scoville's the meanest game?
That's only a very small part of this.
Right.
The most of it is a puzzle of how to fit these pieces together, and I love a roll and write. So this kind of is representative of all the roll and writes because I really love roll and writes.
Oh, now I'm thinking of another game.
I was going to say, I've got two things on my list.
Of games,
I was going to say, I have 2 things on my list.
We'll get back to that in a second. I have one more honorable mention.
Just one? Okay.
This one is from Bezier Games and Ted Allspack. This is
Werewords.
from 2017. It is
Werewords.
I would have been remiss to not include Werewords on my list because it is one of my most played games. Of course, it's not in the top 10, but I have rarely ever shown that game to anyone and them not like it.
Yeah.
It combines the best elements of Werewolf and 20 Questions, which is a game we all know from our childhood, or most of us do, unless you're like me and you were raised by wolves.
Yeah, I didn't play 20 Questions as a kid either. We had the same wolf parents.
Is he werewolves?
Yes, exactly. So there's this, I feel like Werewords is a kind of hidden identity social deduction game that you can play with people who don't like social deduction games because you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie about anything. All you have to do is just play 20 questions.
Yeah.
And so no one's ever, until you get to the very end, there's not really a lot of accusations flying around or anything. It's not really like that. It's at the end, people are just guessing. It's not like, you, explain why you did that. It's not so much that like you would see in like a Secret Hitler or something like that. So I love it. And, My husband's not that into social deduction, but he'll play werewolves.
So
No,
is your
that's
number one bigger than a
totally-
bread box?
Yeah, I mean that's
Okay, then I have a good guess.
that's totally like my opinion of like werewolves as well, because I'm not up usually for anything social deduction. Like I don't play werewolf, I don't usually play any social deduction, but I will play werewolves and enjoy it. It's like it just gives that component that it's not just about trying to figure out who's who. There's this word that can kind of distract from the fact of what might you be.
I think when you have a large group, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's like when you're trying to concentrate on more of that than just like, oh yeah, you're this person. Well, why do you think that? You know?
Yeah. So a large group and maybe a few mimosas.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of fun. Okay, so I want to
don't need
enter.
my phone for the number.
I want to enter into the log a guess. If it's bigger than a bread box, it's not welcome to.
Oh, that was just a joke when I said.
Oh, so then it might be welcome to.
Welcome to came to
Or
mind.
skull.
Near
Something
near
Brian
and far.
Lockett. Yeah, near and
Near and
far.
far,
came to
or
mind.
above and below. I would rank for the purpose of
Near
my
and
guess.
far
they're the
came to
same.
mind for me, but I'm also surprised Rococo hasn't been listed.
It's true.
Are we ready?
Hit it.
I'm thinking near and far. That's my final guess.
Yeah,
I
same.
say
Yeah,
welcome.
let's hear the final guess from each of you. You get one final.
I was
guess.
just
gosh.
I was
Oh,
too
Skull's
surprised
on my
Brian
mind.
Lockett didn't
Right.
break the top 10, so it has to be a near and far, unless you really like Sleeping Gods. I haven't gotten your review on that yet, but near and far is where I'm thinking. I'm still surprised that Rococo's not on
Near and far / above. Yeah, near and far.
Oh, I'm still between Skull and Welcome To, because you
Yeah, Skull
mentioning
hasn't
Roll
been
and
mentioned
Rights makes me think of Welcome To, but then Skull is something that you have literally like even said like, yes, I'll play it. Yes, I'll
But
play
that was
it.
in our list of 9, and he said no.
Oh, that was, yeah. I did mention Skull, and he said only one of the things we said, and we already said it. So
True.
So y'all are all
Lean in a
getting a
little
second guess. Okay, what's
I
your
said
final
Welcome
guess?
To.
Oh, so you're cut off a little bit. Lean in.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, none of you were correct.
Whoa.
Shenanigans.
So you know-
no.
this game. It has
Ryan
been.
Lockett
It has,
is the
it,
most
ha-
offended.
it has been said. It has been said. The designer is Ryan Lockett.
Okay.
Oh,
The publisher is Red Raven Games.
Red Raven, yeah.
The year is 2021. The game is Sleeping Gods.
Okay.
oh, so
I did mention it.
Yeah.
You did mention it, so that's what
Yeah.
I said. It's been mentioned.
I think we
mentioned, okay.
we get credit because it was all in the
Because I was like, I haven't heard the
in
review
that
yet.
family.
The
Yeah.
thing about Ryan Lockett, I am a Ryan Lockett fanboy. I'm a collector of his games. I actually just got another one. But
What's the one you got?
Megaland.
Megaland.
Target
Okay, yeah.
exclusive,
We
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Mhm. So Sleeping Gods is his masterpiece.
You have said that.
He started with Above and Below, a great, wonderful game. It's definitely in my top games of all time. He followed that up with Near and Far, which refined it and brought it even further into the world of this storytelling and everything. And he has a third game coming in that universe as well. But he took what he learned from Near and Far and he put it into a game, Sleeping Gods, which fixes the problems I've had with so many other of this kinds of game. It's an open world storytelling game in the vein of a Seventh Continent or a Tainted Grail or some game like that. It is truly open world. You're in a strange world on your ship. You have 9 people you're controlling, the crew of the Manticore. You're sailing around the world doing a campaign. It takes about 20 hours to play through the campaign. In between sessions, you can save the game. And you are experiencing the world through adventure, storytelling, quests that you're going on, meeting strange characters, and you're trying to discover how to get back home. We finished our first campaign of that, which was 20 hours. We played 2 players. And we loved it so much. We just left it set up on the table and we just kept going back to it every day playing it. And as soon as we finished, we were ready for the next one.
Tapping.
We were ready for the next one.
he's just
We were ready for the
Yeah.
next.
Which was another campaign. We're now almost 20 hours into the second campaign as well. And I'm ready for the next. Because we still haven't even cracked the tip of the iceberg for everything that's in this game.
Wow.
And it's like you just can't imagine how much is in it. And you think about a game like Seventh Continent that we played, and I don't think any of us had a particularly good experience with it. I gave that game several tries because I backed it on Kickstarter and I really, really wanted to enjoy it. The promise that was made to me by Seventh Continent that I feel I didn't experience with the game is what I get from Sleeping Gods.
Wow.
And more. And it's just so good. It's just so good. It makes me so happy. I'm ready to go home and play it right now.
I was gonna say, why didn't you bring it? We've got time. We could fit in another legacy.
I would have needed another to check a bag. It's a huge thing, and it would take up. We would need to put the leaf back on the table.
It is bigger than a bread box.
Is it a game that you can play like on a game night without going through a campaign?
No.
So it's campaign only.
Campaign only.
Yeah. Well, sorry. I'm sure there is a mode, arcade mode or whatever, but you're not experiencing this game if you do it that way. You're selling yourself short. It's like you went to a 3-star Michelin restaurant and you just ordered French fries. It's like, don't do that.
I call shenanigans. I would say that's a legacy game.
It's not a legacy game. There's no permanent changes to the game.
It's similar to Time Story.
There's no permanent changes of any kind. You don't rip up anything. You don't change the rules.
But you have to play it in order.
Write on anything in order.
No, it's just a 20
It's an
hour
open world.
Oh, so you just okay.
So
Fair enough.
in the same vein as Time Stories isn't considered legacy.
Fair enough.
Mansions of Madness.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's just like any other story game. Like we played through Near and Far.
Does Sleeping Gods fix the reason you always yelled at me with Near and Far, which is being able to rush to the end?
Sleeping Gods is a co-op game that you play over 20 hours. There is no way to rush the end.
Okay. Because when we played Near and Far, Ronald always yelled at me for pushing the end.
Is it guaranteed 20 hours? Or is it roughly 20
Ish.
hours? Okay.
Ish.
I thought it had some new mechanism that put out a timer. It's like
there is a timer in the game, but it's not a real life timer. It's
right.
a game mechanism, a stack of cards that when those cards run out, you go through that deck 3 times and then the game will end. If you found a way to end it or because you can die before the end.
Right.
Sure.
If you're not good at games.
Yeah.
Shade. But
feel like you're speaking to someone.
So a lot of the games that you all said were on the short list when I made like the massive list of what games were going to be on this list. It's just I could only put 10, and so some of them had to be pushed down.
I'm surprised Time Stories wasn't even an honorable mention.
Time Stories isn't even in my top 30, I would say.
That's because I remember when that came out, you were so excited about it. Because didn't Randy hide it at your house?
I think the problem we had with Time Stories is we liked it at first. We really went through a lot of it, and it was great. But as you went through the different stories and got further into more and more boxes, some of the problems began to reveal themselves of the game. And I still want to finish it. I have all the boxes at home, and I want to finish it. I'm looking forward to the blue box because the other problem with it is you have to play the same game over and over again.
Yeah,
and that's not always a fun experience to be we were this close, and now we have to start all over again.
Yeah. I remember. Because I had the same experience, I kind of bowed out fairly early in Time Stories for the same reasons. Like
I like Time Stories.
I loved the first one. The first one I was like, this is amazing. But I feel that all the subsequent ones that I played, which is admittedly only 2, never lived up to quite that moment of that magic of the first.
That's true, and some of them were hits, some of them were misses. I still haven't played them all. I've heard some of them have really bad reviews, but I still like it, and I still have it, and I want to play through all of it. It just couldn't possibly be in my top 10.
That's fair.
And see, I think I was so set on Skull potentially being one because there's been so many times where we would go to have a board game night at the house, and if there was no other thing, you were always up for playing Skull.
Yeah, I've seen you play that.
And Werewolves, though.
Skull is definitely in my top 20, I would say. I had to kind of do some finagling, and the problem with Skull is not everybody likes it, so you can't always get it to the table. It's a little mean, it's a little rough, but I really like it.
It's just such a beautiful, artwork too, because the artist, the tattoo artist that designed all the essentially what they look
skulls.
like are like what are the coasters. They look like little coasters, you know, but they're so beautiful and it's so simplistic.
And the experience of us being taught by the people who work for Cool Stuff Inc. at the convention, it was a really cool experience, and I do own that game and I love it, but it just, when you only have 10 spots, I could have done probably a top 50. And
wow. Stay tuned for the top 50.
No!
I will say, there's there's some of those games that they are in that kind of like, if I could only have 5 more spots.
Yeah.
If I could only have 1 more spot, you know, you kind of feel like, gosh, it's right there. Or maybe these two can kind of just share this spot and I'll get another. You know?
Well, that's why you break it down into little categories such as legacy games, which Ronald will be recording soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that.
Or just click it.
Or just click it.
Probably
If it's
already
available.
made.
But
Yeah.
any last things to say about this? How'd you enjoy the experience of making a top 10?
You know,
Was it difficult?
Was it mean?
I'm the kind of person who I try not to say a lot of negative things about games, and I try to be open-minded, and I try to, even if it's not for me, just say like, I don't think it's a bad game. It's not for me, you know. But I also think I like a lot of different things when it comes to gaming. So that's one thing Sliver says, like, oh, well, you'll play anything. And that's true. I almost will play anything.
That's true.
And so it kind of was challenging to narrow it down that much to just those top 10. I think that's why y'all were so surprised, because it's like when I had to make a tough decision of who could stay and who was going to get the rose and who wasn't. It's like, okay, I'm sorry,
But that's
I still love you.
well, it's. I'm glad you mentioned that, because your willingness to try any game once is one of, like, I think one of your most endearing qualities. It's what makes it so fun to go to a con with you, because it's just like, oh, hey, Ronald, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in 2 seconds, and then I come back, and there's Ronald in the midst of some random game that somebody was walking by and dropped, and he's like, oh, I'll play this. And then on the way back, I'm like, okay, I'll come back in 5 minutes. And then he's teaching a totally different game to somebody else. And like, it's really, like, as someone who's strongly opinionated, I wish I could just play things more like that.
I've experienced seeing the Ronald walk by, somebody needs a teacher. Oh, you need a teacher?
Yeah.
I can help.
Rules lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's great that you're willing
T-shirt
to try.
available on
There's a
Redbubble.
list. Top 10 games I love to teach.
Oh, well,
there we
and
go.
click that.
No.
But that's it
Top
for
10
Ronald's
legacy
top
games
10.
I love to teach.
Yes.
What do you think of Ronald's top 10? Do you agree with his number 1? Have you played this? Because it's such a new game that none of us have played it. But now I'm really intrigued and really want to play it.
Same.
Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. But until next time, the box
Is closed.
Bye, everybody.